Well, speaking of Blade, things that haven't been made, Kevin Costner's not coming back for Yellowstone, as we all know.
Yeah.
Right?
Season 6, right?
That little sad pumpkin. So Kevin Costner will probably be taking legal action over his failed contract negotiations. Now, this comes to us from our friends over at IndieWire. They were talking about how he did negotiate, and there have been a lot of issues with this too, where they said there were creative issues. He tried to break the logjam. They walked away. And he's probably going to go to court over this. The actor noted that he was offered $24 million for season 6 and $7 million if greenlit. Now, one of the reasons why I think this is an important story right now is because there has been so much talk about how Kevin Costner is a diva and how he did not do the negotiation process. He didn't want to even be on set. He wanted to shoot barely any days. He wanted to have his days reduced by so much. And then his camp was saying how all of that was absolute nonsense.
I hope so.
I hope so too. They say in here too, oh gosh, where's my quote? I'm so sorry. It's ridiculous, and anyone suggesting it shouldn't believe it for 1 second. As everyone who knows anything about Kevin is well aware, he's incredibly passionate about the show and has always gone way above and beyond to ensure its success. Now, Paramount did release a statement too that's a pretty kind of mud is mud thing. There's not really anything going on here of just, we have no news to report. Kevin Costner is a big part of Yellowstone, and we hope that that's the case for a long time to come. Thanks to the brilliant mind of Taylor Sheridan, we're always working on franchise expansions, yada, yada, yada. And then goes on to talk about how Matthew McConaughey is really phenomenal and they're excited to work with him. So,
but is that okay? But is that studio talk for? But Matthew McConaughey is really nice.
Yeah.
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they just don't pick up the phone for Kevin.
Exactly. And I truly, especially because, he's been a director. He's a very dedicated actor and filmmaker. I can't see this man, and maybe this is true. Maybe he was saying he only wanted to work a certain number of days and everything. I just can't see somebody with his work ethic saying, no, I want all this money and I barely want to work on the show, especially because it's been such a prestige thing for him. Back in the 80s and 90s, people were constantly talking about how Kevin Costner wasn't a great actor and kind of making fun of his style. And this is a show that really solidified he's great at what he does.
Right.
Obviously, Dances with Wolves is really wonderful as well.
Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Kickstart a fresh fall routine with HelloFresh. HelloFresh handles all the meal planning and shopping to deliver everything you need to cook up a tasty meal right at home. They do the hard part and you get to take the credit. HelloFresh takes the stress out of mealtime by delivering fresh ingredients and easy recipes right to your door. So this fall, skip that extra trip to the grocery store and have dinner ready in no time with America's #1 meal kit. Like we've mentioned before, Ann and I are both working professionals, and mealtime is sometimes a bit stressful. That's why we absolutely love HelloFresh. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and we actually have a really good time making dinner together. So guys, go to HelloFresh.com/50Campea and use the code 50Campea for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. That's HelloFresh.com/50Campea and use the code 50Campea. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
But I feel like Yellowstone really reinvigorated his career for a lot of people too, and made it so that he is a prestigious actor who's sought after. He was getting those nominations. He was getting those wins.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him wanting to do less for more. I think he'd want to continue telling great stories. How do you guys feel?
For somebody that knows of Kevin Costner, anytime I've seen him in anything, I didn't think he was terrible. He's a good actor to me. The thing about these articles that were written is me, even somebody who goes by, don't judge a person just by what you hear. It's still hard not to think about those things when it's multiple sources that are reporting the same thing. So if this is not him or how he is, I would for sure, or the story being told is really not the way it went, I would for sure go to court to make sure that that's heard. Or because even for me, who never, I'm not saying I didn't care about Kevin Costner, but nothing he did outside of his acting bothered me or affected me. Mm-hmm. Just hearing those things gave me a little oh wow, maybe if I hear another story about him, then I'll be like, oh yeah, because on Yellowstone He was
right.
like,
Yeah.
you
They
know,
kind of set the stage,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So it kind of gave me a different mindset
Yeah.
when I think of him. So if it's all not true, yes, take him to court. They really did some damage to people who don't even really know you or like
Especially nowadays where you get canceled very quickly, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's the court of public opinion, and that can really end your career.
Yeah.
And I will say, just to play devil's advocate, he could have wanted those hours reduced because he is embarking on directing a passion project of
Right.
his. I believe it's Horizon, something about the West.
Yes.
He's a big Western aficionado. And so I can see him maybe wanting less time to spend more time devoted to doing that. But this whole idea, too, of like being reduced to working for a week for the rest of a season, I don't buy it.
Horizon American West.
Thank you. There we go. And also, like, Kevin Costner, in my opinion, can do whatever he wants. After
Yep.
he did Waterworld, he devoted so much time and money to saving our oceans. When we
Yep.
had that big oil spill, it was a bunch of tech that he supported and backed financially that helps clean up our oceans.
And,
so,
and it's the
I like
last
him.
season of Yellowstone on right now. Is the last one he's supposed to be on, season 5? Do we know? Because announcing the next guy before your last
Before
season
your tenure's over?
is
Yeah,
kind of a little.
It's a little sus.
They found
Yeah.
McConaughey real quick.
I love McConaughey. Too.
I mean,
Yeah.
the article
So-
said that the first few seasons he did 65 days of shooting for each season, and then season 5, the first half, he reportedly demanded that it be reduced to 50 days. Now, did they acquiesce and give him 50 days? Was it not? It's not clear. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so many things in here. And did he really demand, or was he asking? And then it says for the second batch of episodes for this final season, he requested that all his shooting be done in a week. Now, I don't even know how that would be possible unless his exposure in the second half of season 5 is very minimal.
Yeah.
In which case, it could actually be reasonable that he asked for that, because he might only be in, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes worth of the second half.
Exactly.
So we don't actually know how much he had to do and if that was even feasible or if it was. So it's just like a he said, she said kind of thing. We really
Exactly.
don't know. And maybe the truth is somewhere actually in the middle.
Probably. It
Now,
probably is.
one thing though, if he gets, this is my theory, his lawyer wants to kick up some mud, and if they do go through with this, they're probably hoping for a settlement outside of court because they don't want to go to court because it's expensive. But also, if there's discovery and it turns out there's records that show, well, in fact, he was making these demands and these were impossible and he was not working with us and we were doing our due diligence, it's going to look bad on him.
Oh, absolutely.
So sometimes you could say, oh, I'm going to take this to court, but it might backfire. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's okay, we'll do it then,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. But based on how a television show works too, I mean, you're lucky if you get through maybe 8 pages of a script in a day, and that is you hustling.
Yeah.
That is you really,
And this
really
is on
moving and grooving.
location.
Exactly. And often animals are involved and nature
Oh,
itself
And you're
too.
dealing with sunlight.
Yep.
And the sun doesn't stop for production. So, yeah.
So there's a lot to think about here. But guys, we want to turn it over to you. Let us know what you think about this. Do you think Kevin Costner should follow legal action on this? Do you think that the studio's in the right? Do you think Kevin's in the right? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.